Hello everyone. So welcome for the next NMAT session. Okay, so time for some practice. Right, with the I think your dates must be quite near, and I'm sure that you are in the uh, you know rigorous testing phase, and so time for us to again look at some problems which uh, you know are on the current pattern, and what we should be knowing how to do the things. So let's look at that. Here we go. Okay, right. So Care Launcher has its specific module for the non cat examinations. So check out our online classes which are ongoing for snap, zat, and nmat, right? So you can scan this and get to know the details of our program. Okay, so let's start people with the session. All right. So something to do with ratios over here. I'll give you a minute to try this and then we'll discuss. So in this session, first of all, I'm actively, looking at any doubts, queries that you might have. So if you have any doubts, just do let me know. Okay. And do let me know your answers as soon as you get them, right? Okay. So I think this is quite a straightforward question on ratios, what it is. In the 12th standard of a school, 45% students chose a science stream, 35% commerce, and rest humanities. Then further, he is giving us the ratio of the male to female in each of these respective three streams, right? And then he's asking for the number of male students, the ratio of that in these three streams. So since no value as such is given, right, we are not given how many total students are there, so we can take it as a number, right? So the easiest thing to do in these questions is assume the total number, right? And 100 is the most convenient number. You can take it as 1000 also, you can take it as 500 also. It won't matter, because ultimately when you'll find the ratio will always be the same, right? So if I take the total number of students as 100, okay, then in the science and in the commerce and in the humanities streams respectively, the total number of students, we can say 45. So 45 is science, 35%, so 35 is commerce, this becomes 80. The balance of 20 students go to humanities. Now we can just find the number of males and find the ratio, right, from these ratios. So 3:2 is the ratio of male to female. So can I say 3/5 of the total is males? 3:2. So out of 3 plus 2, 5, 3 are males. So 3/5 of 45 is the number of males, which is 27. 27. Likewise, 3:4 is this ratio. So 3 plus 4, 7. Out of that, 3 are males. So 3/7 are males. So 3/7 of 35. 7 cancels, 5 into 3, 15. Last, 3:7, right? 3:7. So out of 10, 3 are males. So 3/10 of 20, which is simply 6. Right? So 27 ratio 15 ratio 6. I think we can cancel 3. And it matches the option number 5. 9 is to 5 is to 2. Right? So very basic question on ratios. Perfect. Moving on. Right? Show me your participation. Right? Give me your answers with the next one. Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Vipin. Let's try this one. So this question, I want you to try and give me the answer because it's testing some of the fundamental concepts on SICI. Right? I'm waiting for your answers. Option 4. Okay, good. Let's check that. Thank you. Okay, so let's check. Somebody has given the answer 12.5 Bipin, in fact. Let's see. So you see, in this question, it's given that in compounding, right, the amount doubles after 3 years, right? So, and it remains invested for another 3 years. So if we are starting with some principal amount, call it P, that doubles after 3 years. So it becomes 2P. So when it remains invested for another 6 years, what will be the final amount? We can do this without going into the formula of CI. From the logic of the CI in compounding, the amounts are in geometric progression, right? That is the philosophy that we always discuss in CI. SI is arithmetic progression, CI is geometric progression. So if it has doubled in 3 years, it will keep on repeating that process. So it will always keep on repeating every 3 years. So another 3 years, it will again double, right? And 2P will become 4P. And another, because we are investing for another 6 years, total of 9, right? So we go for another 3 years, which again it doubles and 4P becomes 8P. And now we change our course of action because now this amount is withdrawn. So P becomes 8P, it is withdrawn and reinvested at SI for next 2 years. And then the final sum is tenfold of this initial investment. Remember, initial investment is this. So finally, from 8P in 2 years at the simple interest, we are going to 10P. So we are asked for the rate of interest. Now, in simple interest, we know that we get the same, fixed uh, interest per year. So if 8P has grown to 10P, it means the interest earned, total interest earned is how much? 2P in 2 years, right? So what is the interest earned per year? If the total interest earned is 2P, right, in 2 years. So it means that interest is P per year. So what is the rate of interest? Since we are earning this rate, we are earning this interest P on this 8P initial investment. So the rate of interest, is that P on 8P or 1 of 8, which is 12.5%. Right? Thank you, Vipin. Correct answer, 12.5%. On 8P, we are earning the interest of P, which is an interest rate of 1/8 or 12.5%. Is that it, people? Right? Any confusion, any doubts? You can please let me know, right? Or else we can move ahead. Right? Perfect. Okay, let's go for the next one. Okay, so I think I would want you to try this again. Age problem. Quick, right? Let's see who can get this fast. Okay, so timeout from my side in the sense that I'm having my own timer ongoing. You should have done this by now. Let's see. Atul and Mohit are involved in this problem, and Atul is speaking to Mohit. So Atul is going both in the past as well as in the future, 8 years ago, 4 years hence. And we are asked for the present age of Mohit. How old is Mohit? Means the present age, right? So there is past, there will be present, and there will be future, right? So 8 years ago, you were as old as I am older than you. So basically, Atul is older than Mohit. He's saying, I am older than you, right? And 8 years ago, you were as old as I am older than you. If Atul is X right now, and if Mohit is Y right now, then their age gap is X minus Y. And 8 years ago, it is given that you were as old as I am older than you, which means that basically he was X minus Y in age. Your age was the same as our age gap. Get it? 8 years ago, 8 years ago, you were as old as I am older than you. So your age was the same as our age difference. And that age difference is never going to change. It is always going to remain X minus Y. And we are going in the past by 8 years. So we can take this difference of Y and X minus Y, and that difference is 8. Is the first equation. So our first equation becomes Y minus X minus Y is 8, or 2Y minus X is 8 is my first relationship. So I think this is what it means. This is what you should have understood. Now, 4 years hence, so we can write another equation on 4 years hence. So he will be X plus 4, he will be Y plus 4. I shall be 1.5 times your 8, so we'll get another linear equation that X plus 4 is basically going to be 3 by 2 times of Y plus 4, which we can simplify, get another equation, gets the values of X and Y, right? So we're getting 2X plus 8, cross multiply, simplify, equals 3Y plus 12. From here, we can substitute X to be equal to 2Y minus 8 in that equation. So we're getting 2X equals 3Y plus 4. And 2X from here can be written as 4Y minus 16. And from here, 2X is coming to be equal to 3Y plus 4. So I guess I'm getting Y to be equal to 20 from here. This is the equation. Finally, I've got, you can see I'm getting Y to be 20. Y is 20, and what is that we're looking for? We are looking for the current age of Mohit, which is looking for X. So from this equation, X is 2Y minus 8, which is 2 into 20, 40 minus 8. So X is coming to be 30. Just a second. I've got something wrong, I guess. 1 second. 1 second. X plus 4. So 2X plus 8 equals 3Y plus 12. So 2X equals 4Y minus 16 from here. And from here, that is 3Y plus 4. Yeah, so Y is perfectly 20. Just a second, something has gone wrong. 8 years ago, let me start from the beginning. X and Y we took 8 years ago. You were as old as I am older than you. Your age was basically our age gap. So we wrote the equation that, we wrote that his age was basically X minus Y, right? Okay, so then we wrote the equation over here for this, that we're going in the past, by 8 years. So Y minus X minus Y. Okay, so this is perfectly fine. 2Y minus X is 8. Right. And 4 years hence, 4 years hence. So he'll be X plus 4, he'll be Y plus 4. I shall be 1.5 times your age. So X plus 4 is 3 by 2 of Y plus 4. So 2X plus 8 is 3Y plus 12. So 2X is 4Y minus 16 if we look at this equation. And from this equation, that is coming to be 3Y plus 4. Right? So we're getting Y to be 20. And X from this equation is 2Y minus 8, which becomes 40 minus 8, 32. So I think the options are a little bit haywire. my answer is coming to be 32. How old? Oh, okay. So he's asking for the age of Mohit. Sorry, not the age of Atul. Right? We got everything right, and the answer is 20 years. My bad. I was just looking as if we're looking for Mohit. Atul, no, looking for Mohit. We are looking for the value of y, which is 20 years. Perfect. Okay, so classic case of not being careful about what is being asked, right? We are looking for the age of Mohit. We got that, which is 20 years. Perfect. So we can cross verify this. All the numbers are, matching with the conditions. You can see basically Atul is currently 32. That is what we got. Why Mohit is 20. So 8 years ago, yeah, right. He's 12 years old, and that matches with this age gap. He's as old as the age gap. He was 24, and 4 years hence, if we go, this will be 36. This will be 24, and you can see that 36, 24. So it is indeed 1.5 times. So whenever in doubt, you can also verify are all the conditions being valid, right? Okay, next one. Okay, so something on geometry now. The in radius of an equilateral triangle is 30. What is the shortest distance from a vertex of the triangle to any point on its in circle? Okay, so geometry is all about knowing the properties. If you know that questions look very direct, right? The more properties you are aware of, the more you can get them correct, right? Okay, so what is this all about? There is an equilateral triangle and there's an in circle of that. So in radius is given as 30. Okay, so let's say that is your in circle, right? It's the in radius is given as 30. What is the shortest distance from a vertex of the triangle to any point on its in circle? The question is asking something very unique. Look at this very carefully. Let's say this is my triangle ABC. Let's say this is the in center O of the in circle. So basically this is given as 30. Small r, this small r is 30. From any vertex, let's say A, we are asked for the shortest distance from the vertex to any point on the in circle. Now, so therefore comes the logic of, what is the shortest distance from any point outside a circle to a point on the circle? That is always, along the line joining the point to the center of the circle, which means continuing this line AO. So with this line AO, if I join it, so this is the shortest distance to some point, call it P over here, where this line will meet the circle. So this distance AP is basically being asked over here. Now, this is an equilateral triangle. In an equilateral triangle, all the four special centers, the centroid, the incenter, the circumcenter, the orthocenter, they coincide. They are one and the same point. So this point O is not only the incenter, it is also the centroid. And centroid property, if you recall, each centroid divides the median in the ratio 2:1. So this AD, which is the median, the altitude, the angle bisector, the perpendicular bisector, all of that. So in that, we can say that AO ratio OD must be 2:1. Now you see how close we are to the answer. So we can say that AO is 2R and this OP is also the in radius R. So since AO has to be 2R, so this OP also has to be the in radius value only R. Hence, the very simple answer, 30 is the in radius and 30 is that required distance as well. Isn't it? So what logic was required in this question? The fact that in a equilateral triangle, all the four special centers of the triangles, the centroid, the circumcenter, the orthocenter, uh, the incenter, all of them are the one and the same point, right? So therefore, this incenter is also the centroid, and centroid property, right? 2:1 ratio that we can use to get the answer, right? So I'm sure that you knew this, and if you didn't, so this is something that is very important. Okay, so I did this one for you. I'll ask you to do the next one. Numbers. Okay, so this is again a very important concept. We often discuss this in number questions, right? So I expect that people can get this. A lot of people in this session now. Let me see if I get some response. I hopefully should get some answers. Okay, I'll wait for your response. Okay, so let me start discussing. In case you're getting this, please do let me know. Right, so this question is all about finding that number, the smallest value which satisfies these conditions, right? So let's say our number is n, and that number n is also can be written in two forms. It is also of the form, let's say it leaves a remainder of 3 when divided by 5. So it's like 5x plus 3 kind of number, a multiple of 5 plus 3. And that number is also of the form 8y plus 5 kind of number. So n can also be written as what? 8y plus 5. So first task is to find the smallest number which is of this form. So just start writing the numbers, which are of this form. You'll find that very soon. So 5x plus 3. So starting with 3 itself, 3. Then keep on adding 5. So 3, 8, 13, 18, 23, and so on. And on this side you have 5, and then keep on adding 8. So 13, 21. Oh, 13 itself, you got that, right? So the smallest number which is of this form is 13. So now you have these two conditions. So the number which satisfies both the conditions, right? The general form of such number is basically that n is basically 13, the smallest number, plus a multiple of the LCM of the two divisors which we have over here, which is 5 and 8. Means n should be basically a multiple of 40, the LCM of 5 and 8, plus the smallest number 13. So you can check, after 13, the next number which is of this form, which satisfies both these conditions, is nothing but 53. Keep on adding 40, 13, then 53, then 93. You see 53 is of this form. It does leave a remainder of 3 when divided by 5, and it does leave a remainder of 5 when divided by 8, isn't it? And 93 also, and 133 also, and so on. So 40m plus 13, right? So these numbers, how many such numbers are there in the range of 100 to 999? 3-digit numbers, right? That's all we have to count now. The smallest number will come over here, 133. It will start from 133, right? 193 is not a 3-digit number. So m can go from where to where? So for 133, m is 3. 40 into 3, 120 plus 13, and it can go up to where? So this list will finish at what number? So we have to go till very close to 1000, right? So 40 into what is close to 1000? 40 into 25 is 1000, right? So 25 can't be taken because we'll get 1013. We get a 4-digit number. So I think 24 would work. 960, 40 into 24, 960 plus 30, 973 is the last value that we can take. So from 133 to 973, which is m can go from 3 to 24. 3 to 24 are 20 numbers. That's your answer. There are 20 such numbers. Sorry, my bad. 20, not 20, sorry, 22. 22. Sorry. From 23 to 24, there are 22 numbers, right? 24 minus 3, 21 plus 1, 22 values, right? So 22 numbers are satisfying this condition. So in case you did not know, Now you know that you have to first find the smallest number satisfying both the conditions, and then the general form of the number is that it's a multiple of the LCM of the divisors plus that smallest number that you have found. Perfect. Okay, so I'm not getting some response for a long time now. I want some response, some participation. I did get some answers initially, but that has dried up, right? I don't like that. Here we go. Next one. Let me see if somebody can get this. Right? It's an equations problem. Right now we're in the exam mode, right? We need quick answers, right? And we need clarity on concepts. Both, right? Okay, so let me start doing this one with you. You also try to get this. The production cost of an item consists of a fixed cost, which is fixed for a lot, and a variable cost, which varies directly with the number of units in the lot. So basically, the question is trying to describe me cost as a function of the number of items or units in the lot. So C, the cost, as a function of n, the number of units in the lot. C as a function of n is the sum of two things. One is a fixed cost. Let's call that f, right? Some fixed component is there in the cost, and then a variable cost which varies directly. So there is a direct variation over here. So the variable cost is basically directly proportional to n. So it is n into some constant. So these two add up. So f, the fixed cost, plus n into the variable cost, let's call that v per item, right? So basically, this is the meaning of the statement. So understanding that this is the kind of mathematical relation, these are the variables involved in the question, that's the first thing. Now we can use the further conditions to see what we have to do. For a lot size of 200, so he's saying that n is 200, the average cost per item is 25% less than that for a lot size of 100 units. So what he starts doing is now he gets to some different thing. He gets to average cost per item. So I was talking over here of total cost. Remember, this C represents my total cost. But now he starts talking of average cost. Let's call that as A. So average is nothing but sum of values upon number of values. So that also will be a function of n, the number of items. So A of n, the average cost per item, A of n, is nothing but the total cost C of n divided by n. So this equation we need to divide by n. So that becomes f by n plus v. So my function for the average cost is this. Average cost for n number of items is the fixed cost divided by n plus v. So now we are given that for n equal to 200, that average cost is 25% less than that for the lot size of 100 units. Means basically the question is now saying that A of 200, when you put n equal to 200, is 25% less than, so it is 1/4 less, means it is 3/4 of the average cost for 100 units. So average cost when n is 200 is 3/4 of the average cost when n is 100. So this will give us some kind of condition between the variables that we have taken. So let's get that, right? F by 200 plus v, the average cost for 200 items in this f by n plus v will be equal to 3/4 of whole bracket f by 100 plus v. Should give me some further simplification. So I'm getting that f by 200 plus v equals 3 by 400 of f plus 3 by 4 of v. Let's simplify that. So I'm getting that 3 by 400f. So this comes over here. F by 200 is 2 by 400f. So I'm getting f by 400, right? 3 by 400 minus 2 by 400, which means f by 400 equals v minus 3 by 4v, which means v by 4. So I'm simply getting the relation F equals 100V. This is what we have got, right? The fixed cost F is 100 times the variable cost. Now we can look at what he's asking further. By further increasing the lot size from 200 to 400, what will be the percentage decrease in the average cost per item? So now we have to go from 200 to 400 and let's see what happens. That is what is being finally asked. So given that we have got this, we can say that basically my F of 200 was F by 200 plus V. And since F is 100V, so this becomes 100V by 200 plus V, or simply 3 by 2 of V, because this is V by 2 plus V, 3 by 2V. This is what we get simply. F of 200 is 3 by 2V. Now we can work on F of 400, right? Which will be F by 400 plus V. F is 100V, so this becomes V by 4 plus V, or 5 by 4V, right? So therefore, we can take the ratio of these two. What is F of 400 as a fraction of F of 200, right? So it is 5 by 4 upon 3 by 2, right? VV cancels, 5 by 4V upon 3 by 2V, which is nothing but 5 by 4 into 2 by 3, or simply this is 5 by 6. So this is 1/6 less, 16.66% less, right? F of 400 is 5/6 of F of 200. So it is 1/6 less, or 16.66% less, right? So this question was multi-layered. First, being able to understand that the cost as a function of number of variables is this equation, then the average cost, and then putting the numbers and getting the relationship between the variables that we assumed, right? So although no numerical values were given over here, but using the given conditions, we could relate F with V and use that then to solve. All right. In the exam situation, I think this is a question which is slightly more time taking, right? So definitely a question that we can be done maybe in the second round of attempts, right? That's my honest opinion. But I'm discussing all the questions and giving you all the variety, because we have to be you know selective in terms of our question selection, and at the same time we have to be aware of what is doable and what is eating away my time, right? So therefore, although this question is doable, but definitely 2-3 minutes are gone, right? So uh, better to look out for quick questions, right? Let's turn to the next one. Okay, something on functions, right? Okay, so very direct question, whereby two functions are given and then we have to calculate something, right? So give me your answers on this one if you can solve this. Let me wait for a minute. I'm sure you can do this, right? So this question is basically about composite functions. You can see f of g of 1, g of f of 1. These are composite functions. So you have to calculate that as per the values that you're getting, right? So you should start from the innermost thing, f of 1, g of 1, and then we can move forward, right? The idea is to start from inside, right? For example, if I find g of 1, then I can find f of g of 1. If I find f of 1, then I can find g of that, right? So first step is find f1, find g1. What is f1? 1. What is f of 1? 1. 2 into 1 minus 1. What is g of 1? 0, 0 minus 1 minus 1. Sorry, 1 minus 1, 0. Right? So f of 1 is 2 minus 1, 1. G of 1 is 1 minus 1, 0. Perfect. Now come to the different terms. What is f of g of 1? So f of g of 1. So g of 1 is 0. So f of 0 basically. And what is f of 0? Minus 1. Done. The first term is minus 1. Right? 0. F of 0 is 2 into 0 minus 1 minus 1. What is g of f of 1? We have got that f of 1 is 1. So g of f of 1 is g of 1. And what is g of 1? 0. Simple. Now, therefore, next term, f of g of f of 1. So f of g of f of 1. And g of f of 1, we have got 0. So this is as good as f of 0. And f of 0 is minus 1. And last term, so it's just loop, right? Just keep on finding the things as it is being asked. G of f of g of 1, 1. Right? So f of g of 1, we've got that again. That is minus 1 over here. F of g of 1. So this is as good as g of minus 1. G of minus 1 is what? Minus 1 whole square is 1. Minus 1 is 0. So therefore, the sum of these four, minus 1, 0, minus 1, 0, minus 2. Done. So pretty simple, straightforward. Just put the numbers. Just keep on finding the values. Get it done. Right? Okay. Here we go. Next one. Set theory. Okay. So let's see again who can get this fast. Please let me know your answers. Giving you some time to try. Right? It's a, I guess, two-state Venn diagram problem. Right? We can all do this. Okay, so time out from my side. This should have been done by now. Please do let me know your answers if you're getting them. Two-state Venn diagram problem. Maths, science, right? Class of 40. Okay, so let's put the things. Let's say this is your group of math students. This is your group of science students. Those who passed, right? 40 is your total, right? 40 total students. So 25 students failed exactly one exam. So there are two exams. If you're failing exactly one, it means you're passing exactly one. So basically this 25 is the sum of those who passed only in maths. They failed only in science. These students failed science only. And these students who passed science only failed maths only. So these two regions taken together are basically 25, right? 40 is my overall number of students in total. Then 32 failed either in maths or in science. Now, I have already got this 25 as the sum of these two regions. Now, what does this 32 represent? It very much represents these two regions as well as my none. The only region which 32 does not capture is this common part. So all the other three regions are adding up to 32, whereas these two are adding up to 25. So the balance or the extra that 32 minus 25, that 7 is my students who failed in both basically my none region, right? Just give me yes or no on this. This is very important, right? This is the crucial part of this problem, understanding that this none is 7, right? Because 32 represents, these three regions: only maths pass, only science pass, and none which has failed in both. So once we got this none, I think we got our answer. Question is asking how many students passed at least one exam. So that is nothing but the union, right? The sum of these three regions taken together. Since 7 is my none, 40 is my total. So 33 is the answer, right? 33 is the number of students who passed at least one exam, right? We can also specifically say that this is 8, because 25 is these two regions taken together. So if this is 7, this must be 8. The balance 15 must be the total number of students in these two regions to add up to 40, right? So although we have not solved the Venn diagram as such specifically, we have not uniquely decoded what is the split of that 25, but overall the sum of the three regions, the union of the two of the sets is there, right? It is 33. Okay. So now I will take some questions on DS, data sufficiency. That is also asked in NMAT. Here we go. Data sufficiency, right? In which we have to answer from these options, right? Which statement or statements are sufficient, right? One sufficient alone, two state sufficient alone, both taken together are sufficient, each alone is sufficient, or even both together are not sufficient, right? So this is a question I guess you can see is on coordinate geometry. The logic of that. What is the area of a square drawn on the xy plane? Right. Okay. So obviously we should draw the xy plane and analyze the given conditions. So on the xy plane, the statement one is giving us the coordinates of two of the vertices are 6, 6 and 12, 0. So let's say this is 6, 6 around here, and let's say this is 12, 0. Is this sufficient? I don't think so. Why? Because these two vertices, I don't know whether they are the consecutive vertices or the opposite vertices of the square. You're given me two vertices, but which one? So the square could be oriented in different ways. It could be like this, or it could be like this, with this being the side, and then the square would go something like that. And in both the cases, the area of the square will be different because the side length obviously will be different. So we can't determine the area of the square with the first statement. For the same logic, we can cross out the second statement as well. Whatever are those two coordinates, for the same logic, they can be the consecutive vertices or the opposite vertices. So for the same logic, second statement also is not sufficient alone. So very quickly we can reject each statement on its own alone, right? So A and B are definitely not the answers, neither is D. Only let's see what can happen if we combine. Now if we combine, then we know three vertices, because 6, 6 is, you can see, common amongst the two conditions. So therefore somewhere around here, let's say there is 6, 6. Then there is 12, 0 somewhere around here. And we also know that 12, 6. So exactly matching with this, horizontal level, 12, 6. Now with three vertices known to us, now the score is very much well defined, because it can only go in this way and nothing else. And then the side length is unique and the area is unique. So yes, combining does work out. All right. So the classic way of doing DS is first analyze each statement alone, right? If either of them is sufficient, the answer is already obtained. Only when both the statements individually are not sufficient, then you combine. If on combining it works, then well, you say that, okay, both statements taken together are sufficient. If it still doesn't work, then E is your choice. That is always the way to do this. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Next one. What is the product of x and y? Simple, straightforward to the point. What is x into y? Statements are given 1 and 2. First one, x square minus 4 the whole square plus y square minus 9 the whole square is 0. The sum of two perfect squares is 0. So from statement 1, what do we conclude? The sum of two perfect squares is 0. We know that no perfect square can ever be negative. So each of them are greater than or equal to 0. So if their sum is 0, each of them has to be 0. That is the obvious logic over here. So x square minus 4 is 0, which means x square is 4. And y square minus 9 is 0, which means y square is 9. Question is asking what is the value of x into y? The values of x and y are not unique. X is plus or minus 2. Y is plus or minus 3 from the first statement. So the product of x and y can be 6 if they are 2 and 3, or it can be minus 6 if it is 2 and minus 3, or minus 3 and 2. So statement 1 is not sufficient because from this, our value of x into y can be both 6 or minus 6. So it is not unique. Second statement obviously is not sufficient because it is not helping me to find any as such numerical value of x and y. There is no data over there to be useful to be able to find x and y. So the only thing left is that we see what happens if we combine both the statements. So on combining, we need to have, this combination of values of x and y, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, as well as we need to satisfy the condition that y needs to exceed x. Now, if y is minus 3 from its possibilities, it can never be more than x. Minus 3 is neither more than 2 nor more than minus 2. So y can't be minus 3. This is not possible. This is ruled out. So we must have y to be equal to 3. And y being equal to 3 is sufficient for me to be able to say that y is more than x regardless of what is the value of x, because minus 2 and 2 both are less than 3. 3 is more than both minus 2 and 2. Still, x into y is not unique. It could still be 6 or minus 6. So even after combining, we can't say what is the value of x into y. Answer is very much that even those statements together are not sufficient, right? So that is DS, people. This is how you know analyze this question. These questions are very analytical. They require us to just very carefully look at the conditions and see, are we getting the unique answer to the question asked or not? Uniqueness is the key over here. Okay, so I'm happy to discuss these questions, and that I hope this is helping us to build our momentum right going into the exam mode. I hope you are having your rigorous practice on a day-to-day basis. So I wish you very good luck for not just the paper, but the I mean the days ahead, right? In general, for all the examinations, I hope that you get where you want to reach, right? Okay, so I will give you all the best wishes. Also, Career Launcher mobile app, just make use of that in your preparation. It is out. It is there on both iOS and Android. One of the many useful resources and ways to do your preparation. Right. Thank you, people. I will see you quite soon. Uh, any specific topic that you're looking for, in which I should take more questions, you can send me your suggestions on the comment box, right? So I will look forward to seeing you again, right? Thank you, people. Thank you so much. All the best.